So the last time the Phoenix Suns made the playoffs was in 2010. It was the resurgence of the 7 seconds or less team. The role players were all different, but Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire were still there. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, number one, I needed an intro to take up about 25 seconds. But number two is we may potentially actually have a chance at the playoffs this season. Let's just see how the beginning of this thing goes. Remember our win against the Kings, 3-3 at one point, and then the team just rattles off 4 wins in a row, and suddenly 7-3. Your Phoenix Suns are 7-3. My God, it might be finally happening, and I think a lot of it is on the back of Devin Booker's playmaking. This game against the Rockets, 37 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. I think we're mainly focusing on the playmaking here. That's not true because he just shot the ball. You could have made the case that where we started at with Booker, he may have been on the road to just being a scorer and, able to do other things, but not too great at them. And I would say we've done a good job of just improving, his all-around game. Of course, the scoring is still huge, and we rely on that more than anything. But when you can make plays for your teammates, get yourself up to 5 assists per game, that's pretty good stuff. Now, I can't look at his usage rate. I can't look at his assist percentage. So I'm just going to ignore those things and assume that he's not over-dribbling and he's not taking control of the offense and nothing productive happens out of it. I'm just going to read 5 assists per game and I'm going to go, that's good. So, good job for Devin Booker as he is leading us on this, whatever this is. And he had another game here against the Pistons where he had himself 7 assists here. That's good stuff, We will look at Emmanuel Quickley later on in this video. But even if Quickley never becomes a huge playmaker, the combination of whatever he's going to be with Booker where he's at right now, I'd say that's pretty good. I don't think it's a necessity to have a big-time assist dude. If you have that guy, great. But if you don't, but you have multiple guys who can make plays for teammates, then I think you can still have a pretty quality offense, especially when you look at some of the scorers and shooters that we have on this team. Speaking of scorers, Michael Porter Jr. is a legit one. Nearly 20 points a game. The big thing is his shooting has just gone to a different level. 42% from outside, my goodness. This is why we drafted him, man. This is why we told Trae Young to go have fun in Cleveland. We didn't tell him that, but that's what ended up happening, so I'm going to stick with the joke. You just got to have that second scorer. This is not 10 years ago where you may have been able to get by with just one offensive player and, well, you know what I mean, one big-time scorer. But now in this case, when there's so many good offenses in the NBA, you just need 2 dudes who can just put up like 30 points on any given night. Michael Porter Jr. is doing a good job. Second season, 19 points, 6 rebounds, and all that good stuff. Shout out to Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. And shout out to the Nets for drafting RJ Barrett because, I don't know. Then he had 32-8 against the Pistons. I think the next thing we can talk about with Porter, well, maybe not that quickly. I was going to say we could start to look to develop his other abilities like we have with Booker, but we're like, 10 games into this season so far? Let's see if Porter can extend this throughout an entire year first. And then we'll see where he needs to improve on from there. It is cool that the rebounding seems to be a thing. That's very nice. It should be said with a lot of these wins, most of them were in Phoenix, which I think matters, because that means we're going to get some extra road games to make up for that soon. TJ Warren can't miss. Us as a team, we really can't miss at all. And I do think we are going to come back down to earth in terms of our percentages. I don't think TJ is going to shoot 54% from the field for the entire season. But then again, with how smart of an offensive player he is and the way that he picks his spots and his ability to hit contested shots and all that, maybe. I don't know. But still, TJ in his awkward game that doesn't fit in today's NBA at all, he seems to be making it work. And when you have a game like this one where he's our leading scorer and makes up for the fact that whoever it was, Porter or Devin Booker, I wasn't paying attention, didn't have their normal scoring night, but TJ could make up for it. That's good stuff, 15 points a game, I think, is a pretty fair expectation for him. Maybe a little less than that once we stop missing, or once we start making every shot in. We got to look at Dražen Bender. 3.5 assists a game is huge. 45% from 3, which I have to think is going to come down as well. But that's big because last season his 3 kind of tailored off towards the end. And this game against the Grizzlies, I think, is basically what you ask for out of him. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 for 5 from 3. So much of our success is dependent on Bender panning out as a two-way player. He's kind of like I've used Al Horford before for him. I think that works. He's kind of like our Draymond Green in a way where, we can be good without him, but if he's good, then he unlocks just this extra part of our team that makes us really unique, right? To have a big man who can stretch the floor for us, defend a few positions, put the ball on the floor and do stuff, whether it's beat bigs off the dribble or make plays to his teammates. That's good stuff. And I do think he increases our ability of having a switching defense, which I don't know if I've brought up a lot, but I think the idea of it, given our size and given the amount of defenders we have, could be a real thing. And another guy who could assist in that switching defense would be Josh Jackson. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists a game, starting at the power forward position for us. Notice that he's only shooting 0.7 threes a game. I think that's pretty good. I think his first season he shot 200 threes or so, and we have progressively had him shoot less and less three-pointers, and I think that's helping him and it's helping the offense overall. If he can get to a point of just being good enough from wide open on threes, that'd be good. And then he's just doing all the defense and moving the ball around on offense that we ask of him. Let's get to our rookie, Immanuel Quickley, 9 points, 3 assists. This game against Philadelphia is the one we'll highlight for him. He's good, man. No doubt about it. Brandon Knight, his contract is up after this season. Devontae Graham may have been played out of the rotation already. Given what Quickley is doing early on in this season, we'll have to see. It's a long year, of course. But it's going well. I think the combination of Quickley as well as Patrick Beverley together can be good stuff. Beverley, of course, starts over him right now, but even then, they play similar minutes. I believe Quickley averages about 18, 19 a game, and Beverley's around somewhere between 22 to 25. And, I think I mentioned it a little earlier. I think what'll be interesting is just his fit with Devin Booker. They've shared minutes together. Remember that Kings game where Quickley was really good. He's growing well, man. So good for him. Now we got to talk about Bam Adebayo and his insane 39% opponent field goal percentage. Now, you see our defense here. We've actually crept up to mid-tier in defense, which is huge. And I think the biggest example of that is this game against the Rockets. We didn't allow James Harden to get to the free throw line once. That's impossible. Usually James Harden just shows up and he shoots 5 free throws just by existing. So I'm going to credit Bam Adebayo for a decent amount of that. And you remember earlier he had that 39% field goal, opponent field goal percentage. I don't know how 2K really classifies that, whether that's what the opponent shoots when Bam is on the floor, or if it's what they shoot when he contests the shot. I don't really know, but regardless of whatever it is, it's very good at 39%. So I'm going to attribute a lot of the defense to Bam. Once again, the fact that Harden just didn't shoot any free throws is pretty insane. The rim protection that requires is really good. And Bam's been good, man. The team's doing pretty well early on in the season, but we'll have to see if we can actually maintain this.